And we are back. Current events. Welcome to the foundation. China encircles Taiwan. The lost brands of 2025. And the CFPB is on life support. This is current events for today, December 30th, 2025. I am Sot L, Seeker of Truth L, Speaker of Truth L. And we are going to jump right into it. Don't want to take up too much of your time. Thanks for checking out the current events. Make sure you check out welcometothefoundation.com. We are currently, you see what I did? There's a key on the left-hand side. I clicked it. Foundation Trustee Training. As the world turns, things are getting more and more serious. Y'all see what's happening. We are currently offering 50% off the startup fee for any tier trustee training. Email us, admin@welcometothefoundation.com or support@welcometothefoundation.com. At the very least, sign up for the email list. We appreciate it. And with that being said, let's jump. Ooh, that took a minute to load. Ooh, bankruptcy success rate for student loan borrowers jumps to 87%. The success rate for student loan borrowers who attempt to discharge their debt in bankruptcy has jumped to 87% in recent years. Still, few people pursue the option because of a pervasive myth that the loans can't be included in the proceeding. This is Jason Iuliano. I tried it. A professor at the University of Utah's S.J. Quinney College of Law, amid concerns that young people would try to ditch their financial obligations. Policymakers made the bar for the discharge of student debt in court particularly high. People are having success. I heard that line, you can't discharge federal student loans in a bankruptcy. I heard that as well. I'm not going to say I believed it, but I definitely heard it. Why Americans feel terrible about an economy that looks pretty good. The gap between hard data, what the economy is doing, and soft data, how people feel about it, is called the vivisection. Economic educator Kyla Scanlon coined the term to capture a reality where the vibes are terrible, even when employment numbers look solid. The disconnect comes from cumulative trauma, a 43-day government shutdown, a frozen housing market, and the lingering sticker shock of a 24% rise in price levels since 2020. I'd venture to say that's absolutely incorrect. Since 2020, 24%. I would be very interested to look at, the numbers, what commodities, what they use to come to that determination. Bottom line, Americans feel terrible. Fairfax County meal tax goes into effect January 1st. There's a meal tax, Fairfax. What's going on with y'all? Washington? DC area? Depending on where you are in Fairfax County, buying a meal will now cost you more, whether you dine in or take out. Starting January 1st, 2026, the county will begin levying a 4% tax on the purchase of all prepared food and beverages sold as a meal, on top of the existing 6% sales tax. That's 10%. Quote, living in Fairfax County is already expensive, and the price of food is expensive. So adding a 4% tax is gonna be tough, end quote. So, there you go. What's this? This Manhattan, New York, chaos at busy NYC station as riders test new MTA fare gates. There's got these new fare gates. It's crazy. Let me play this. Hopefully the sound don't blah, blah. It's like, it looks like security at the airport, sort of. What is happening? That technology is coming. Gold and silver head for biggest annual price gains in over 4T years. Gold and silver prices are about to record their biggest annual gain since 1979, rising sharply in late April. After President Donald Trump's rocky global tariff rollout, the price of gold has soared nearly 70% in 2025. Silver, up more than 30% in December alone, has surged more than 160% this year. If you paid attention to the foundation, you got your hands on silver, you're happy right now. You're very, very happy. I would say that, I'm not giving financial advice. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm crazy. But I would say we're just getting started. Silver's going to go. Silver's going to go. Did you see Elon Musk tweet? He tweeted about silver. Said this is crazy. Silver is needed in industrial processes. Very close to what he said in his tweet. I don't know. Do you still call him tweets? On X? On his X? He X'd it. Platinum set for the biggest monthly gain in 39 years. What's happening? It's global. Look at silver. Look at silver. Oh, wait, hold on. This is an ETF. This is silver. Look at, wow. Look at that. Okay, so these little lines right here. This is the MACD moving average, convergence, divergence. Yo, this white line. This is 200-day moving average. This is the stuff I'm learning, y'all. But woo-wee. We're going to look at this chart next year. And, I'm just putting this in here. So I have a, what is it? Time capsule. Because this is amazing. And, keep it moving. I think from what I understand, it hit $85 and then dropped down. What is this? Yeah, what is this? 80. It hit around 85. You see this wick right here? It goes up pretty high. And it crashed. It was like early Monday morning or something like that. Let me move forward because, I could talk about 5 worrying employment trends buried in the latest jobs report. Job gains are concentrated in just 2 sectors. Black unemployment is rising sharply. Factory jobs are disappearing. Teen unemployment has surged. Teen unemployment jumped to 16.3% in November after having hit 13.2% in the most recent jobs report in September before the government shutdown. That's the highest teen unemployment level since 2020. That's when everybody was locked down. I want to, 2 sectors concerning development, according to J.P. Morgan Chase. The Bureau of Labor Statistic data revealed that nearly all the private job growth over the past 2 months was in just 2 sectors, healthcare and social services. Booming. Healthcare is booming. Social services, booming. Factory jobs are disappearing. The biggest sector losses this year were an 80,000 job decline in business services jobs and a loss of 63,000 jobs in manufacturing. Those manufacturing jobs were eliminated despite the Trump administration's pledge to revitalize domestic manufacturing in the president's second term. Ouchie face. Exclusive. China mandates 50% domestic equipment rule for chip makers. This is a big deal. We're already having issues with RAM, random access memory for computers, workstations, etc. We're having issues with hard drives and solid state drives, what most people call memory. I ran out of memory. Well, most people, you ran out of hard drive space. Those things I'm watching the prices of these things go through the roof. What is it? Crucial, which is a brand that produced RAM for computers and hard drives, stopped selling to the consumer market, went straight corporate. This is very significant. And this is going to affect electronics. It's going to affect the price of phones. It's going to affect the price of computers. It's going to affect the price of smart TVs. It's going to affect the price of cars, trucks. This is going to affect the price of energy. This is going to be an issue. I'm watching this. China is requiring chip makers to use at least 50% domestically made equipment for adding new capacity. 3 people familiar with the matter said, as Beijing pushes to build a self-sufficient semiconductor supply chain. And, this has a lot to do with this. China encircles Taiwan. Check this out. They're trying to get you to. It's $1 a week. Nope. China encircles Taiwan. Carries out 10 hours of live firing drills around Taiwan. Chinese military rehearses blockade of islands north and south. Taiwan says China is simulating strikes on U.S.-made weapons. U.S. lawmaker EU condemned China drills. China fired rockets into waters off Taiwan, showcased new assault ships, and dismissed prospects of U.S. and allied intervention to block any future attack by Beijing to take control of the island in its most extensive war games to date. As part of drills rehearsing a blockade, China's Eastern Theater Command conducted 10 hours of live fire exercises, launching rockets into waters to the north and south of the democratically governed island. TSMC, let's just get it out there. Taiwanese Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation. I don't know. TSMC. The United States creates 0 chips. 0. Taiwan creates, I think, a little over 90% of the chips for the entire world. This has sweepingly broad implications. Let's keep it moving. Trump's funding cuts put America's consumer watchdog on the brink of collapse. This is the CFPB, Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. I also want to say real quick, the United States just gave $11 billion to Taiwan, and then, all types of firing going off in the waters. So this is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. When Bianca Jones, 33-year-old special education teacher in Memphis, Tennessee, decided a couple years ago that she wanted to buy a house, she started digging into her Experian credit report. She was shocked by what she found. Her student debt had been double counted, making it look as though she owed $250,000 and putting her home ownership out of reach. Jones disputed the items with Experian, one of the major credit reporting agencies, multiple times in writing and over the phone, but got nowhere. They kept saying, it's been verified. It's been verified. They never investigated. They never tried to remove it, Jones said. Eventually, Jones complained to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, a federal watchdog created by Congress in 2010 to protect consumers in their financial dealings, helping her lawyers show a judge the lengths she'd gone to mitigate damage to her credit, according to her attorneys, legal papers, and a copy of the complaint. That paper trail eventually helped Jones successfully sue Experian to correct her record. Jones closed on a house purchase in Memphis suburb of Millington for $300,000. Quote, if I didn't have this agency to go to, I don't think I'd be in the house right now. It actually changed my life. Agency facing shutdown. In interviews, consumers who had fallen on hard times or known difficulty, lawyers who work with the poor, and credit counselors told Reuters the CFPB had been a lifeline for people facing hardship, and they feared that without it, many consumers would be left unprotected from financial predators. The CFPB now faces extinction under President Donald Trump's second administration, which says the agency is a political weapon for Democrats and a burden on free enterprise. Dang. Speaking to reporters at the White House in February, Trump said it was, quote, very important to get rid of the agency, end quote, claiming, without spelling out evidence, that Warren had, quote, used that as her little personal agency to go around and destroy people, end quote. And this must be Elizabeth Warren. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to pay attention to this because, actually the CFPB is definitely, I've seen positive resolutions due to, people reaching out to the CFPB. So, I'm going to watch this. We're going to pay attention to this. The brands we lost. You guys ready? In 2025, shoppers said farewell to a number of well-known retailers. Forever 21 didn't live up to its name. The celebrations ended at Party City, and it all went wrong for Rite Aid. So we have Forever 21, for the second time in March, filed for bankruptcy and closed down its U.S. operations, shuttering about 500 stores. The company blamed economic challenges impacting our core customers, namely cost-sensitive teams shifting their allegiance to competitors. Forever 21 was unable to keep up with Chinese e-commerce giants such as Shein and Temu, especially as online shopping boomed. I've seen a lot of Temu stuff. A lot of, the youngins, they like that stuff. Fabrics and crafts retailer Joann closed up shop in February, ending more than 80 years in business. The closure came following its second Chapter 11 filing within a year, with the company blaming sluggish sales, inventory problems, and a heavy debt load. The brand name of some of Joann's beloved private labels were recently revived by Michaels, with a store within a store concept. Party City first announced it was going out of business about a year ago, but fully closed its stores in February. The chain, best known for balloons and other celebratory supplies, had been in business for 40 years. The retailer previously declared bankruptcy in January of 2023 and struggled with debt, carrying more than $1.7 billion at one point. Man, Party City also faced lots of competition. E-commerce sites, pop-up concepts like Spirit Halloween, they be everywhere. Any store that closed, any open retail space in the malls, Party City's in there. They in there for a good month or so. I'm sorry, Spirit Halloween's in there. My fault. And Rite Aid. Once America's biggest pharmacy chain, closed its doors in October following its second bankruptcy in the past 5 years. The full-service pharmacy first opened in 1962 and became well known for its cult favorite ice cream brand Thrifty, which was sold off during the store's bankruptcy proceedings. Ouch. Rite Aid first filed for bankruptcy in October 2023, largely because of competition from bigger chains and its debt pile. The debt topped $4 billion. How? How do y'all do that? Rite Aid emerged from bankruptcy in September 2024, having slashed $2 billion in debt, closed 500 stores, and secured $2.5 billion in funds to maintain operations. But months later, Rite Aid's store count dwindled, and competitors like CVS Pharmacy and Walgreens bought up its pharmacy operations. Illinois, watch out. Watch out. And this isn't just for Illinois. I apologize. This is for everybody, but this is out of Chicago. Chicago 5, watch out for traffic ticket text scams over the holidays. Do not respond or open links in unsolicited texts. Do not do it. I'm telling y'all, there's so many things they can do. A person using a mobile phone, texting. I just wanted to highlight this. This is hilarious to me. Illinois Secretary of State office is warning residents to not respond to open any links if they get a text message claiming they owe money for traffic violations or unpaid tolls. I've gotten these types of messages, and where I'm at, there are no tolls. So I already know that it's some scammery, but there's a lot of people, especially on the East Coast. Y'all got a lot of tolls over there, man. What's happening? Colonies, 13? But yeah, so, Illinois has tolls as well. But man, East Coast, man. What's up with y'all? All right, let me leave y'all alone. I love y'all. But yeah, phishing scams continue to be a persistent threat, especially during the holiday season, with criminals repeatedly attempting to steal Illinoisans, I'll just say Illinoisans, personal information and hard-earned money, end quote. Illinois Secretary of State Giannalis. I tried that was three times, maybe four. Quote, these messages are designed to look legitimate which is why it's important for residents to remember that our office will never contact them by text about license or registration issues. Ignoring and reporting these scams helps protect everyone. This is for everyone, everyone. Listen, and if you got some parents that getting up there, grandparents, so on and so forth, you got to tell them as well. Tell them. Just say, hey, listen, you get a text, let me see it before you do anything. Just let me see it. Teach them how to do a screenshot, whatever you got to do. But the scams are getting crazy. You got the artificial intelligence, the videos. I'm watching Tupac and Martin Luther King kick it in Cuba, yo. Straight up. This stuff is getting wild. I think we got about we ain't making it to 2026 all the way through the next year without some serious deep fake happening. We're not. You got to really pay attention to this. You can get a what you think is a video FaceTime call, and it looks like your son or your daughter or your dad, and it's not your son or your daughter or your dad. It's not. And I'm heavily, in my personal life teaching people about this, showing people stuff, showing there's this troll on I think he's on TikTok, but they move it to Instagram or repost it on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. I don't mess with TikTok. I got like 2 troll accounts on TikTok, but I'm digressing. My apologies. Let me get back to the point. There's this dude on TikTok who goes into like Walmarts and he takes photos of people and then he applies AI to it, and the AI shows them jumping on the rack or on the shelves or something, or picking up the chips and popping them or something. And then he walks up to the people and he says, "Is this you?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, it's me." And then he'll hit play and it shows them doing just some crazy stuff. And they're like, "That's not me." And it's usually older people, and it really freaks them out. And this is for clicks and stuff. But I saw the fear, as you get old, sometimes your mind starts to leave you. That would really mess with somebody. You do that to my pops or, any of my peoples, man, we going to at least, at the very least, we going to have to arm wrestle. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey. And then, as we leave out of here, I said I was going to give y'all some good news because, usually the stuff is bad news. So, the last one, I got some good news for y'all because everybody loves Beyonce. Beyonce is officially, who's this dude? That's not Beyonce. Beyonce is officially a billionaire. How about that? All the Beyonce lovers, fans, she is so-called black. She's a billionaire. She's the 5th musician to ever hit the milestone, joining her husband, Jay-Z, Taylor Swift, Bruce Springsteen, and Rihanna. Rihanna made her money off her. I think she dropped some clothes or some scents or something. But, they capitalize on those brands. They enter different, market verticals and, put that brand on that, that product and blah, blah, blah. So, there's the good news for y'all. I tried. I'm gonna keep working on it. We're gonna do the good news. So, there's good news. We're gonna end on a great note. I trust y'all learn something. What's let me check this out. What's the okay, we got one more day. So tomorrow we're gonna do the show, the Foundation's last show of the year. January 6th is the 10-year anniversary of the Foundation. We're gonna get live. Everyone's invited. So with that being said, I trust y'all learn something. Enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. It's very important. And I'm going to catch y'all tomorrow on the show, the Foundation episode with So L. Peace, y'all. Love y'all. Be safe.